Ho ho! Happy victory / week 2 episode. Oi! Yes!
Got the dub.
We got the dub! Beat Baker Mayfield. Honestly, beat the brakes off him, I would say, for most of the game.
Yeah, it got a little bit scary outside of like 4 plays. If those 4 plays went a different way or we actually didn't blow coverage, would have been a big different story.
Honestly, you can count on 2 different hands how many times that ball hit the turf, and they just were so lucky to pick it up. Yeah. I mean, the fumble for McCaffrey, and he takes it 30 yards.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's what he is.
But, you know, I think all around great team victory. Special teams was on point, I'd say. Shall we make Cade York our president?
Yeah, Cade, on that side of special teams, awesome. On the other side of special teams was Demetric Felton. But that was bad. So, you know.
I already missed Jakeem Grant. He hasn't even played for us.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that's the big issue that I can definitely take away is that special teams are going to be bad, and we don't really have a solution. Other than that, I think we look pretty good. Jacoby played Jacoby. I mean, that's just how he is. I also got to say, I've had a few conversations. He's a backup quarterback, man. He's a backup quarterback. He's not a starting quarterback. Now, he's not at that level. He's serviceable, okay? Don't be like, oh, he sucks. Because, yeah, guess what? He does kind of suck. He's our second quarterback. I mean, look at, like, would you rather have Jacoby Brissett or Dak Prescott just got hurt and start Cooper Rush? I mean, that's what backup quarterbacks are, okay? Like, so Jacoby played Jacoby. He made some nice throws, not amazing, had a couple issues. But other than that, like, he looked pretty good. The running game was incredible again.
Fireworks.
Incredible. So, that was awesome. Really good to see.
That offensive line, I think, won them the game.
And James Hudson.
Oh, dude.
Great.
James Hudson. I honestly, you know, this is going to make this upcoming offseason a lot easier if he's playing the way he did on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, he was rock solid.
Yeah, if he keeps that up, I mean, Jack Conklin is definitely going to be out of the job. But that's way too long.
Too early to call. Too early to.
Yeah, that's just one game. One game.
Pump
okay?
the brakes, Mike.
Yes.
But yes, you know, I can think of a bunch of guys that had a great game. But just to go off your Jacoby Brissett talk, you know, I think this is the biggest topic in the city right now. I honestly thought he had a pretty good game for him being Jacoby Brissett.
Exactly.
You know, I feel like people forget this. You know, I made this point that I think he's going to play better than Baker did last season. Now, I don't think he's going to, you know, light a team up for 300 yards. Now, that's always a possibility because he's done it before, but it's never been his game. Mm-hmm. You know, he made throws. You know, he did something Baker never did here. Was
run a game-winning drive outside of twice.
He made 3 throws, and with less than a minute left to get in the field goal range.
Yeah, Baker's definitely done it before,
but I mean, that was one of the best last second drives that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. And you heard in the post-game press conference where Cade York, I guess, told Jacoby, he said, "Just get me to the 40." He said it earlier out of the week in practice, and it came true. Just get him to the 40.
That's beautiful.
Nailed a 58-yard field goal to win this game.
Fucking ice in his veins, man. Ice in his veins.
So it was pretty awesome. Cade York is awesome right now. We'll see. It's another thing. Got to pump the brakes here because that was one game out of 17. So
and he played in the beautiful weather of Carolina. Just wait till it's late December and you're playing in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, and it's -5.
So let's see what happens there. But definitely some good stuff to think about heading into week 2 when we play
the goddamn Jets.
The Jets come off a little beating from the Baltimore Ravens, and you know, they had about 20 carries for 60 yards against the New York Jets defense.
Yeah.
But Lamar also lit them up.
Let him.
In the air.
Yeah.
Rashad Bateman had a day, so if you started him in fantasy,
And Duvernay had a pretty good game.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
But it was really.
Bateman was on my bench, dude. I was terrible.
Oh, how about that beating this weekend,
Get
huh?
out of here, dude.
Week 1 dub.
See, my team fell apart. I only had like 79 points. All right, it wasn't too much to win.
But
either way, congrats, it was a good week.
But Joe Flacco had to make the start for the hurt motherfucker and Zach Wilson.
Speaking of hurt, his arm probably hurts too.
Yeah. He threw the ball 59 times, 367 in the air, and a tutty and a pick. Not a tick, a pick. But for a backup quarterback, I would not say that's that bad of a game.
No.
But when it takes you 36 attempts to get, so that's essentially 10 yards per pass. But I'm not going to sleep on the Jets because one, they played us tough in 2020. And beat us, but that was a whole different game.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And I know
we had like 2 starters out of the 11 on offense.
Yeah, they have a nice set of running backs in Mikael Carter and Breece Hall. That they didn't really show off this week, but they can definitely be weapons going forward. Joe Flacco did a really good job spreading the ball. At least 7 receivers had like 6 or more catches.
Yeah.
Between Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Breece Hall, Micah Carter, and I believe it was Tyler Conklin, the tight end that came over from Minnesota. But big news for them. So far, George Fant, their backup left tackle to Mekhi Becton is possibly might be out this Sunday. So we're looking at a 3rd string tackle on the left side.
On the left side.
Yeah.
That's huge because Myles Garrett's on the left side.
Yeah, but that's to be determined. It is only Thursday, at least for us.
Yeah.
You guys will see this probably Friday or Saturday. But still a lot to pick up on. Flacco was pressured a lot this past Sunday, sacked about 3 times. And they're going to have their hands full with Sir Myles Garrett, who really showed out in this game. 2 sacks. I mean, he was the highest rated player this week per Pro Football Focus. He was all over the place.
Yeah.
I think where the game starts for the Browns are Royal Donuts. Almost said Dunkin', but I got to stay loyal to the Royal.
Oh, got to.
Our Royal Donuts key to the game. I think you got to keep bringing that pressure and contain these big plays.
And you can't give up big plays.
Yeah, you cannot do it. Couple busted coverages, but I think this comes with more reps as the season goes on. This happened between Greg Newsome and Grant Delpit. Now these guys ain't seasoned veterans, so one's in year 2, and technically Grant Delpit's in year 2.
Yeah.
So this is it's still very early in the season. You take away those plays, I feel like it's a different ball game.
It's a blowout in week 1.
Yeah.
So I guess going into week 2, fix a few of those things. It's going to be a whole different game if they just fix a few things. I mean, we could just look at another blowout. And I'm guessing they're not going to completely switch gears, and Flacco isn't going to throw for more.
I fully expect Flacco to throw the ball
a ton.
I mean, they threw it in the rain. It was an awful ball game.
He had a lot of checkdowns as well, and short passes to the running back. So something to be worried about.
This is a banged up offensive line. They're not that great to start, and this Browns defense was in the backfield for almost 85% of the game. They had one of the highest pressure ratings in the league. Um, you know, this is one of those Myles Garrett games again. You know, when you look at Aaron Donald and T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett, you put them in the same conversation because they can own a game and they can win you a game. I mean, I don't think Pittsburgh gets a win last week against Cincinnati if T.J. Watt doesn't do what he does,
and I don't think they get a win next week against the Browns without T.J. Watt. That's next week's video.
Next week's. But you know, this is what you look for in a defensive player of the year candidate. So I'm expecting Myles to have a big game. If not him, definitely Clowney. Someone's gonna have a big game on the defensive side of the ball. But bringing pressure is where it starts. And the second part of this keys to the Browns game plan is to definitely keep those receivers clamped up. You know, Garrett Wilson, there's a reason why he was a top 10 pick. The guy can make plays all over the field. He was showing up against Baltimore. You had a second round pick in Elijah Moore that was out there making plays, a speedster. Definitely got to watch out to. And then the sleeper in Corey Davis, who's a bit big, has a nice catch radius. So definitely guys to watch out for. But to go back to the offensive side of the ball, obviously you want to stick to the number one and running the ball, but that's not one of my keys to success.
Okay.
I would say keep it going with Brissett. You know, I really think that, you know, he missed some layups.
For sure.
You know, the one throw to Amari, he overshot him when he was wide open.
Yep.
But you know what? I think that comes with reps. You got to think. Amari and Brissett, you know, they picked up first. Brissett started doing the starter reps midway through training camp.
Like a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a month of reps. You know, it's just not. There's not enough chemistry yet. But I think you let it fly. Jacoby's not one to really take any risks, which I like for a backup quarterback, because he did nothing more and nothing less. I think he did exactly what he came to do. He didn't. Even if we lost this game, he didn't. He would have not lost us the game.
You don't. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett doesn't lose you games. As with, like, in the past, Baker Mayfield will lose you a game. And so that's one thing looking at this year is that one's big highlight is that, like, he's not going to throw the ball deep downfield all the time. But, like, when he does, like, he's not going to, like, just place in terrible positions, right? I mean, even that deep ball that ended up being a defensive pass interference, like, if Amari didn't get just, like, basically thrown to the ground, that was right in the pocket. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be good. I think he needs to get some reps. And
you know what though, I'm actually gonna backtrack. I thought he made some really good throws. I think he made more good throws than bad throws.
Yeah, tight windows too.
I mean, he was excellent on third down.
Yeah.
How many times would we get in a 3rd and 20 situation last year, and it would just be an even worse play? Like we're just gonna take a sack or just launch it out of bounds.
Yeah, and punt.
But I mean. Wow, he put the ball in some good spots. You know, I can think of a couple bad throws he had, but I thought he found Peoples-Jones a lot. And, if that's another player I think that was key for the Browns this week. He was making plays all over the field.
He was making the kind of plays that you saw in training camp. And we haven't seen awesome
you
catches.
even saw last year that because his thing coming out of the draft was he did not have good hands, and you know I think he really worked on that, and you're starting to see it. I mean, he's one of the strongest catchers that we have on our team. I think he's starting to pick up that role that Jarvis had. Being that possession guy. Yeah. I mean, he's a big guy, and he brings it in, and he has the speed. So if he can keep playing the way he is, I see a lot coming from Peoples-Jones being a number one receiver. And, I mean, that might be a bold statement. But, so, Cowtail's players to watch this week.
Cowtail number 1. Good?
Is it the obvious?
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be the obvious. I'm going to go with Amari Cooper.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think he looked awesome last week, and he really stretched the field and did a lot of work. And I think if you even give a couple plays, like when he just absolutely just broke J.C. Harden's legs and just ran up, you get a couple more of those, I mean, it's going to be lights out. So, in my opinion, I think Amari Cooper can be the game changer in this game. And it can really, especially if, like, and the reason for this, I honestly will say, is that, like, yes, the Jets defense kind of held the running game under 3 yards a carry this last week against Baltimore, although they did not have Dobbins. So, you know, the quality of the running back was obviously not to the standard of the Browns. But I will say that when it comes to the air, I think Amari's going to have a huge game. So, that's mine.
So he's going to Sauce Gardner?
Overrated.
Extra.
Just saying.
Ooh.
Hot take. I don't care.
Bold statement.
Overrated.
Okay. I'm sorry. I got to take the 2. I know you had the 2 last week.
Go for it.
I already know who it is.
Take it. That's all you, man.
I thought about these all week. My first one being Denzel Ward.
Okay. Nice.
You know.
He was awesome.
Oh, he was awesome last week, and I think he's going to have to play a big role on Sunday against the goddamn Jets. Goddamn Jets. If you can just get it in the hand like that, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
The goddamn Jets. They're all over the place in the receiving core. Like I said earlier, these are guys that can make plays. So it's going to take a lockdown corner. Even with Greg on the other side, Greedy's on the IR. And you know what? I would say the corners had just a great game last week, too.
It did.
Emerson had an
awesome.
outstanding game.
He's physical, too.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if he's going to give up a pass interference on a 5-yard pass, I'm okay with that. Because he is a physical guy that's going to knock you off your route.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's what these corners do. They're physical, and they're going to piss you off. And that's what they need to do against the Jets. And then the third and final cowtail goes to the guy that didn't see many plays. You know, he got a big paycheck this offseason. And I think he's ready for a big game. You didn't see much of him on Sunday, but it's the Chief, David Njoku.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm just going off watching the Jets and Ravens game. They have a lot of holes in the middle of the field, and I think that's where you can find David Njoku. You know,
dude, his blocking was awesome last week too. He was rolling people.
What a turnaround for him! You know, he is turned into a well-developed player. Where, you know, if you go watch his games in his rookie season, he was, you know, he was a really sketchy first-round pick. Yeah. He could barely block, and his hands were really iffy. Now it almost feels that he's kind of a sure-hand catch.
Almost always, yeah. He's got some sticky hands nowadays.
You
saw it last year.
He changed. I mean, he was built like a house when he came here.
Yeah,
but like he rebuilt his body.
Yeah.
You know,
he just drives over people, man. It's like a freight train.
Honestly, I would say
good blocker.
I would say his blocking has really been the most impressive part about his game.
Well, if you saw last week, I mean, his blocking to open up holes for Hunt and Chubb was awesome too.
I mean just look at the run Kareem had on that touchdown, that 20-yard run between Wyatt Teller, Ethan Poicic, and David Njoku. That run does not happen.
Not happen.
It was beautiful. In fact, Wyatt Teller blocked 2 guys on that play.
Yeah, dude,
He sealed it, turned around and sealed it. It was
how
open
many runs last week did people that Chubb or Hunt did not even get touched? So many that they did not get touched until 30 yards down, 20 yards down, or not even touched at all. Got a touchdown.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I'm looking for Njoku to be a threat this week.
No, I agree.
And open up the middle of the field. They're going to have some tough linebackers that are going to be swarming. So I'm hoping to see more play action. I guess one thing I did not say about last week, and I'd like to carry on to this week too, is I think the play calling on both sides of the ball, except for the second half defensively, was pretty damn good. Joe Woods, I would say that the second half, he got too conservative and started playing soft coverage. At least halfway through the third quarter. The play calling through the first half defensively was lights out. The sending of double safeties, blitzing people, which you don't see a lot in Joe Woods' defense.
Now, if we're going to keep on this topic for just 1 second, is even offensively, is that like when it is a third and short or third and like 4, 5, even 7, it'll go up to where no one's really open or they're just running routes that like, why would you do that or why would you make that play call? And right now we saw it last week where it's like short, quick slants. I just want more of those with like DPJ, just like more quick slants that will get you those yards. Like, why are we trying to go for 10, 15, 20 yards when you need 5? Like, that's what like I really liked last week, and I think we need to keep up to with the play calling.
And no empty sets. Oh my God, that killed me last year. How many times they would run empty sets?
Yeah,
I think I saw it 3 times on Sunday, and I hope they continue to just. Because they showed play action a lot, and I think that's where they lacked last season. It helps a lot. It changes the eyes of the defenders. They're looking at the running back.
Well, especially when especially when you have Chubb and Hunt, like they are seriously worried about you running the ball, and then you throw it.
I mean, they opened a can to whoop ass, and I expect them to keep on doing that the whole entire season.
And I also think, I know they held the Ravens under 3 yards, the Jets did, last week. I don't see them doing that anywhere close, because the Ravens currently do not have a number 1 running back, let alone 2 number 1 running backs. So, I think we're going to light them up.
I mean, it was 7 yards a carry. And eat shit, Derrick Henry. That's all I gotta say. Eat shit. Because, oh my God, I'm gonna beat this damn drum.
Dude.
Nick Chubb is a better running back than Derrick Henry. Not a bold statement. Look at the stats.
I'm gonna take it one further. I think Nick Chubb is the best in the NFL. Look at the stats on how many attempts he has.
He puts up the numbers he puts up, and look at the numbers Derrick Henry does on 40 carries a game. It is not the same thing. He cannot make a play out of the backfield. He is lightweight slow. He really is. And once he only can hit his speed after he gets a 5-yard buildup.
Agreed. Yeah, acceleration's low.
It's not there.
But Nick
He's
Chubb's
got
a beast.
no bounce.
Nick Chubb's a beast.
I'm done with it. Nick Chubb's a more complete back than most backs in the NFL. And it's just bullshit that you would think otherwise. So I'm going to just say, let's go to our predictions before I keep going. I know we only have a couple minutes left before I go on another 30-minute rant.
Gotcha. Do you want to start it off, or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
The winner of last week, the one that said that we were going to...
I'm okay that I lost.
Okay.
I don't lose my pride when I bet on the bet against the Browns.
Baker's going to go off. He's pissed.
Hey, he did go off in the second half.
Oh, what? Off the ground?
I mean,
dude, I don't know. He went off because 2-blown coverage. Other than that, he was whack. Now you see why we let him go or traded him. I'm going to say this week, I think, they have a lot of weapons, and I think they're going to start running the ball a little bit more and have Flacco still going to throw over 40 times. Almost guarantee it. But I think they're going to run a little bit more. Obviously they have some nice receivers, pretty nice receiving core actually, pretty nice running backs. But in my opinion, we're gonna win this one, 27-13. I think it's gonna be a blowout. Not really a blowout, but I think they're gonna win handily because, we're home. We got the elf in the center of the field, which people are pissed about, by the way, and have no idea this was a thing, by the way. You cannot come up with this?
It's awful.
You don't like it?
I don't like that elf. I like the original
You
elf.
like that elf. I got you.
That one's just goofy looking. Okay, that was the OG elf. I get it, the one they got in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
But it's
I love it.
It's like how they bring it out of nowhere.
But I think, I think at home, fans are behind them. And I think that our defense just fixes the little mistakes that they had last week, and I think our offense is going to perform again. I think we're going to have some really good plays, and I think at the end of the day we're going to win this one. Let's look back a couple scores here.
Okay.
What you got?
Well, I think it's going to be another tight game. This is a backup versus backup competition. I think Jacoby will kind of have a similar game. Yeah. And I think Joe Flacco will have a better game for him, at least stat-wise for himself. But he might have a better game than Jacoby. I will say this. The Browns defense really showed me that they can be elite.
Dominant.
Same with the offensive line. And I have always been a strong believer in the games won in the trenches. And I think on both sides of the ball, the Browns have the edge in the trench. With the Jets' offensive line being banged up, the Jets having a very, very young defensive line, but still, I think is very good. But this is a Browns offensive line that I've seen manhandle teams week after week.
And you know what this game kind of reminds me of on the defensive side? Reminds me of the Bears games last year. Because I think the Bears game was when Myles Garrett just took full advantage of that offensive line. And I can totally see that happening this week.
That is a very good comparison. I think this is going to be another very... last week I thought it was going to be a very small scoring game.
I'm noticing you just only have one string.
Somewhere over here.
Where's your other string at?
Oh.
Okay. I was looking at it. I was like, dude, you got one string, dude.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of scoring in this game.
Sorry.
I see it being a 16-13 game. Cade York, again. Ice in his vein.
For the dub? Or
maybe not for the dub,
okay.
But he's going to kick us to a win.
Okay. I can see it.
Like I said, these games are not going to be pretty. They're always going to be ugly. At least for the next couple weeks. Hell, I'd love a blowout win. I would absolutely love that. I won't be watching it from here, but I will be watching it in section 118A, row 34, seats 4, 5, and 6, in the dog pound.
Nice.
About 7 beers in, and a bottle of Crown Apple.
What?
Coming straight from the Muni Lot, giving my report. The Browns will get a dub on Sunday.
2-0.
2-0, baby. Come on. First time since 1994. Not even a twinkle in my daddy's eye.
Let's go.
Let's get it. And that will wrap up this week's episode of the Muni Lot Report. Go Browns.
Thanks for watching.